Hi, Cass.
Hi Ruth, how are you?
Good. I started doing this heart song project where I submitted it to the Philly Fringe, the title and a brief description. And I thought it would be about my relationship in the last year evolving and changing, but it turned into an inner dialogue with my inner muse, my inner critic. So that's and I realized it was my journey alone and that became very interesting. And then I couldn't, can you make your screen a little bit lower? There we go. Um, I just realized it was my journey, my dialogue, my like, I'm getting very emotional. This is the first time I really talked about it. Um, so yeah, it's really about taking all the things that I've been thinking about for a while and putting it into an internal dialogue, but bringing it externally. Um,
Okay.
and that's kind of what the story is about. And I've used
So,
music since January 1st, well, way before that, but I started uploading music to YouTube the first week of January 2026 as almost like my journal, but the journal of my ideal focus, my ideal self, things that I wanted to focus on. And it's been really therapeutic.
well, you named it Heart Song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a powerful name. You know, a heart is one of the most incredible parts of our entire body.
Mm.
And and song, is the vibrations and the words and people hear it. And from what I could understand, you are trying to find the how people are impacted by various words, various songs, various tunes,
Yeah.
and and then um, even what do you mean by a heart song? Like, what
Yeah.
is
Like
that?
it's not a one definition, one experience fits all. It's all very individual. And so I wanted to take people on a journey of listening to the music, having the conversations about media, about AI, about creativity, about what tools are allowed. Are we allowed to use Photoshop, but we're not allowed to use AI? Are we allowed to use the typewriter, but we're not allowed to use the laptop? Like, where in our evolution is acceptable? Are the judgments behind it? Um, what is scary? What is collaborative? What is exciting? What is button pushing? Like all the things that are in my own day-to-day conversations with people in my writers group, people in my social network. It's been a very interesting journey, and if I didn't have what made me cheer me up in the beginning of this conversation as sort of a foundation, it might have been less emotional for me to create. Um, it would just be like, oh, that's nice. Someone's talking about being creative. Someone's talking about um, media. Someone's talking about relationships. Oh, that's cute. But I feel like uh, it ties in with my larger vision of live your peace, which I started using it in 2003 when I did an afternoon workshop. I think you were on your honeymoon then. But was it no, not 2003, 2009.
Eight,
Eight.
nine, nine. I got
Nine.
married. Eight, I met Bill.
Yeah,
So
2009. Um, the weekend that you were away. But we had 16 amazing people in our local community together and talk about what is peace. And it was inspired by Obama winning the Nobel Peace Prize, which he got so much, flack from everybody. Like, why is this president winning an award? It's political, it's this, it's that, it's undeserving. And so it made me back in 2009, November 2009, to think, okay, if someone in that sort of visibility can't even accept an award without all these strings attached or all these emotions, how can any of us uh, everyday people live our peace and live our mission and live our heart song? I didn't have the words for it then, but that's what I'm reflecting on now. And so everyone got sort of an opportunity to do role playing and exercises in that workshop, um, to accept a Nobel Award, and what would it be for, and then to prepare for that 4 hour workshop in my local spiritual center. um, I went on Help a Reporter Out and um, asked for other peacemakers to weigh in, and what turned into one or two interviews with some incredible people, like a prisoner of war, or someone who was the wife of someone who won a Nobel Prize, were my first two interviews. It turned into over 160 interviews, including one with you about Twilight Wish and your spiritual journey. And this was over a decade ago, maybe what,
Yeah.
15 years ago? How long was it? 2009. Um, and so those conversations sat on my website until I didn't pay the monthly fee, and the interviews disappeared on some laptop. And
Ooh.
they're somewhere. I'm sorry, that's heartbreaking. But then in the last like year and a half, I started playing with writing my own lyrics based on the ideal state I wanted to be in, whether it was like embody the state of like a, and I haven't published this video, but this is what popped in mind, a Joe Dispenza meditation, or a Arnold Schwarzenegger mindset, or a Oprah community, or what would, or a Cass Flurkin Twilight Wish um, um, philanthropy, or like what energy do I want to embody? And so I started writing songs about, just like I've done for over 20, 30 years, writing success scripts, but I turned it into lyrics where when you listen to the music, you're not trying to be that, you already are embodying that energy. And so I wanted to, and then when I started sharing with people, some people had very strong emotions like, oh, that's, I can feel more focused thinking about those lyrics on my entrepreneur tasks or my relationship, or one lady who has MS and a lot of surgery, she said, your songs helped me get out of bed a lot earlier. I would have laid in bed all day, but it gave me the energy to get up and move. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I have more validation to write a story about Heart Song. And I started journaling about it. Um, and then I started chatting with ChatGPT, and then I would edit that into a conversation, into lyrics, and then I uploaded it into um, Songer, which is the same software I use to create the songs, but it turned into dialogue with very sort of background music. And that's sort of the basis for my script and the 60-minute show that I created for the Philly Fringe as my first draft. And I knew I had to put something out there, upload it so I could start selling tickets to the Philly Fringe Festival. That's September 8th through the 27th, 2026.
So we're in a very interesting time right now, in terms of the development of AI and how, you've talked about this, how it's coming into our lives, and not it's coming in amazing ways. And so, but people who are very creative, the writers and the artists, they are they're very concerned that, their craft will go away. So they're against it in many ways, but
Mhm.
not in other ways. So for me, I'm just watching this. I'm an observer because my creativity is in starting nonprofits and starting companies and running them, and not in so much in the art world or the writing world, although I've been trying to write. Um, so what I say is that AI is really changing things. And then you did a song for me. And what happened to me when I heard my heart song, and it was unexpected, but somewhere in the middle of the song, my heart felt validated, like, oh my gosh, that those words are speaking right to my heart. And like when that happens, you almost get a tear because
Mm,
it's so powerful. It just someone's validating my who I am.
mm.
And and who is it who's validating who I am? I don't know. I mean, the words came from somewhere,
It came from me.
but yeah, we don't know who's doing some of the singing and like,
Yeah.
oh my
Was
God.
thinking is voices that have been downloaded by humans and then turned into a library of sounds and frequencies. And then maybe the identity of that person is lost. That's part of the lost frequency.
So the interesting thing you said is energy is like you're embodying the energy in the song. And so people who listen, who are able to get that energy, like this woman with MS who can now get up out of bed earlier because she gets energy from the song, that
Hmm.
is just proving that what you're setting out to do is working. That's
Yeah, I
it.
feel
That's a
like it's
validation right
encouraging.
there.
It's encouraging. And like, um, I got an email yesterday from somebody, or in the last week, that got the birthday song that we feature in the show, Heart Song, called Return. And I've been sending it for the last like 3 or 4 months to people on their birthday. And it's got AI generated animals like from Africa. And they're all in like playful community sort of interaction. And mm, whenever I hear the song, I just feel so uplifted because I wanted to create a song that didn't say birthday in the song, but it tapped into all ideal the ideal birthday experiences of reconnecting to yourself, being celebrated, having community around you, returning to yourself and what your goals are for the year, or your sort of a reset. And I feel like all this emotional stuff is a reset, and using song as another tool because, as we've known, I've started out with being a poet at, single digits and writing lyrics and then writing short stories and winning awards through Doyle Elementary, and then starting to write in-depth character descriptions and parts of screenplays, and then doing a couple projects like that over the years, and then doing like stage shows at the Philly Fringe at a location like on Market and 7th Street, like when you went to my table experience, which was taking a 10-year career in massage therapy and acupressure massage, and like telling the story of the type of clients I had, from the old lady to the person that doesn't like to get touched to um, someone that just thinks massage is just pleasure and not therapeutic. And so I think everything I've mentioned um, creatively has been a way to process my life and process my journey and say, okay, what's next in my life? And so Heart Song is asking what's next in my life. And we've talked about that a lot over the years. And I'm starting to smile again, so that's good.
So a lot of processing.
A lot of
And
processing.
and for me, I'm trying to get into the moments of just enjoying. Okay. I'm done processing. It's a lot of work. I don't want to process anymore. I just want to enjoy my life. I just want to have moments of pure joy, and I do. And kind of where I'm at right now, having so many experiences, having recently accomplished many of my goals.
Hmm.
Check mark, check mark, check mark. And then what happens when you get to a point where you had really big goals and then you've checkmarked them, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
And
And there
so
were and they and there are goals that were created as early as childhood and early adulthood and
they're they've been created all along the way. They've gotten bigger and so now I'm looking at, you know, we're always asked to go back and process certain things when something happens and bring something up, but
Mhm.
I'd rather not. I'd rather just, no, I'm just done with all that.
Like
I
what's
just
it gonna
really,
do if I have to go relive stuff? Like that's not helpful, right?
so I think the songs that even if you don't, you don't have to process them. You can just let that joyful energy come right through to you. Return is an amazing birthday song.
Thank you.
Because we do all return. We return constantly. We just, everything we have and we need in our life is already within us, and we just need
Yes.
to remember that. And so return is like, oh, yeah, yeah, I got it all. I don't need to worry about anything. It's all taken care of. I really do feel that way. I feel very blessed. I'm very excited, full of gratitude. And my thing is, I always go, thank you, Lord. I accept and I'll accept more. I'm open to more. Um,
That's
I
beautiful.
guess I wanted to sort of help you with your scripts on what you want to accomplish talking about heart song. And you have different kinds of characters, as much as you did with the massage, different characters come in.
Yeah, I have two
And
main characters. It's me, which is curious, and whoever else I thought pictured it as one guy grilling me. But in the last couple days, when I put out an invitation to have this conversation, I thought, well, what if the wise character is not just male? It's it's embodying any critic, any muse, any um, status quo, any potential, any creativity. Like we all have inner dialogues, and sometimes it's our mother's voice, sometimes it's our dad's voice, sometimes it's our school teacher's voice, sometimes it's our spiritual leader's voice, sometimes it's um, wisdom that we've given ourselves previously, and that or successes we've had. And so we're reminding ourselves, oh yeah, this is going to pass, or this is going to grow, or this is going to be seen or heard or felt.
what
So,
if you're both voices, Ruth?
oh yeah, I am. I am.
I bet you actually change your voice for one of the characters.
I mean, I'm playing with all that right now, and I have less than a month to do it. But
Well, I think this might be the way to go. I saw a play in Cape May where this heavyset man, played about 5 or 6 characters. It was called Stones in His Pockets.
hmm hmm
And it was just this man. And when he would flip to another character, the woman, he would flip his hair. By the end of this play, I saw all the characters. I didn't see this one man. It was so good. It was so amazing. I never saw a thing like it in my life. I think you could play both characters and actually more. You could be curious, could be you as the narrator the whole way through.
hmm
And then you could choose each of the other characters
hmm
and role play that straight on through with just like this man did in Stones in His Pocket. One of them you'll be a woman with long hair. One of them you'll be a wise old man, or who knows? You come up with your characters. I think you could do a phenomenal job with both of them.
Yeah, I
Like,
brought home equipment to do just that, a light, a stand, a better mic. And I was going to do this, I think on Tuesday, and it's Friday now, or maybe it was Monday, and I can't remember. Um, but then I looked on Facebook and I saw it was someone's birthday of my neighbor that passed this year, and I got suddenly really sad. Like,
um,
this is not a time to improv and role play all these characters because I'm grieving the
right,
loss, sudden loss of my
right.
neighbor who followed her husband 6 months later or
I'm
earlier.
sorry.
And I actually felt his presence before she died. standing like, and I don't ever feel or see ghosts. I know you've had more experience with that, spirits, but I literally felt him like as I was taking the trash out, um, like before Christmas, like November, December, right after he passed. Could feel him, and I also felt the presence like he would be at peace when his wife passed and then when the house sold. And then both of those things happened, and I didn't feel his presence anymore. Um, so when her birthday showed up earlier this week, I was feeling instead of trying to perform. And so that was um, interesting. But I have all the tools on my left of my laptop right now to do that. And I picture like not wearing any clothes and just have the face and do when Curious is talking, you see everything going on this side, and when you see Wise talking, everything is on this side with my hair up or changed. And there'll be different like things in editing where I might put a more of a yellow slide over it or a white or depending on the chakras or the emotions or the feeling.
That
So
sounds
yeah,
excellent.
those are my plans, but I had to get one version done. And I started putting I've had this software I've been paying like 70 or $97 a month called vidIQ that helps you make thumbnails and videos and shorts. So in the last 2 weeks, it's the first time I've ever made shorts. And within couple days, I went from 2,000 views on my channel since January to August to around 7,000 views.
Wow.
And then and today I'm crossing the 10,000 view mark. Now I don't know what that means. It's just that shorts get seen at least for a second longer than all my musical videos. So I've been doing a lot of journaling and figuring out like what do I want to be seen. And the thought that just came to me recently was like yesterday or the day before was each song or each video I put out there is like a little wishy blowy seed that goes out in the world. And so it's, you know, love, authenticity. I wrote it down. Hold on. So on every video, I put the same thing. Um, emoji, headset, earphones, want more of this feeling? And then musical notes. Tap the related video for the full experience. So I learned this week how every short can be linked up with the longer video. And then I created a Substack page, live your peace, dot substack.com/forward go. So everything that I want people to, use as resources or see my latest conversations, they can go to Live Your Peace Substack /go. Um, and then every wishy or thing I want people to feel when they see my video is a combination of love, peace, joy, light, authenticity, wonder, enlightenment, divinity, and self-acceptance. So I feel like if my videos don't have at least one of those, then they're not going to be posted.
Okay. It's time I'm going to have to pause for just a second. Can you pause for
Yeah,
this?
maybe. Let's see.
I think you're onto something, Ruth. I think that your thought about the two faces facing each other and having a conversation, it's really perfect because this is about an internal dialogue that you've had with yourself. So it would be perfect for two selves to be facing each other, having that discussion.
Hmm.
I think that's really right where you need to be.
And the version that I created with the audio and the slides. the two faces are you didn't I don't think you've ever seen it, but the two faces are that vase that looks like a face in a vase. That's in the middle of the whole show. So you see the one side and the other side, and then you see their room. Um, one is the basically the rooms mesh together. So it's the exact same room, but with different, like it's they both have the same big window. They both have a desk. They both have their laptop, but they have different symbols. Um, see if I can find it because you haven't actually seen it. Hold on. So basically, it's instead of showing a face, you're showing what they're looking at. So it's not defined by gender or race or human or whatever, but you see kind of the room that they're looking into, and you can more listen to it and feel it. And then the images start to change and evolve. And in the beginning, I'm using more AI generated the two pictures I created, which is the room that they're looking at. Later on, I start adding videos from my trips around the world, um, and water and going through a car wash and walking at Peace Valley. And they're all inside the silhouette of the face. So,
Wow,
part,
that's going to look very interesting.
yeah, so part of me is like, do I need to re-record all this with humans talking and looking and people? Because now what I have is just a very introspective, meditative, um, internal conversation with self rather than telling people what to feel or what to look at or and one of the I guess benefits of working with AI and not necessarily recording my voice right away. First of all, I lost my voice just physically and metaphorically with all the changes going on around my identity and my marriage and my relationships and stuff like that. And so even with what I said earlier with the heart songs, the Live Your Peace channel, um, what I like about it is it takes out the judgment of the performance and just focuses on the message. So it becomes more of a healing tool. As if I waited before I could sing all these songs as a soprano, they might not have ever gotten recorded. But when I try to sing along with the final song, Your Moment at the end, I feel like my whole chest opens up, like my throat clears up. I feel like I'm having a spiritual experience.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So ideally, I mean, I would like to do a live theater performance of everyone singing this and even the audience just singing it and being the show with the bouncing ball or the karaoke style because I feel like each song captures a different chakra, a different emotion, a different healing. And it's not necessarily healing if you don't want it to be. It's just really beautiful, reflective music. But every chance I get with my background in acupressure and coaching and storytelling, it's all about how do I bring transformation,
Transforming who?
transforming whoever wants to explore that. And currently it's me.
When you are done transforming, girlfriend,
I mean, it's okay. Are you gonna finish? That's
who
the
will you be?
I'll be more of who I've always wanted to be.
Why aren't you that right now?
I am that right now.
You are that.
I
It's
didn't
been
think this would be so emotional talking about this.
well, this is your internal coming out. It's emotional. I mean, you just said some heavy stuff there with not having a voice,
Hmm.
and metaphorically as well as physically. That's huge. That's huge. What you are living through, people didn't live through this before. It was not even an option.
Hmm.
And if it was extremely rare.
Hmm.
But now it's not so rare. It's more and more people. But still, you know, you are important. Your voice is important. What's it take to get your voice back? And that's what you're doing right now. You're getting
Yeah.
your voice back.
Getting my voice back by working on the inside, by listening to the inside, by journaling with the inside, by expressing the inside. And not the
I
inside of I'm stuck or this is a conversation I want to see in a year from now, but who do I want to be in a year from now or on the other side?
who are you already that
Mhm.
wants to speak up? Who are you already that
Mhm.
just has something to say about things? Who
Yeah.
are you? So you're doing it through the songs. The songs are amazing.
And
You
the
know, they just,
storytelling.
and the storytelling and right, and the pictures and the absolute beauty. Beautiful, beautiful. Heart song.
And I yesterday I was on social media and I saw the creator of Mind Valley Vision talk about identity, and a lot of his videos are around identity. Like, if you really want to shift, really tap into the identity that you want. And my whole channel is about identity shifting through music. Um, so that was sort of validating. And I guess he opened up the conversation about being friends with a lot of people in the secret 20 years ago, and their friend and studied with Lisa Nichols and Bob Proctor and people like that. And they said the whole law of manifesting is just part of the picture. It's really about what identity shift do you want to step into? Who is your identity? Who do you want to be? So I feel like I've been exploring with that without even knowing that's what other people are exploring. And so as we look at ourselves as a country, as a family unit, as a family role, as a career role, what is as a creative role, as a humanity role, what is our identity now, every given moment? And, every Friday I have on my phone, it says, peace in my, and this is what you gave me, peace in my heart, peace in my home, and peace in my world. And that's definitely an identity thing.
And I got it from Patricia Gallagher originally, like
Uh-huh.
I don't know,
And
15
I'm
years
sure she
ago.
got it from something. So,
Peace in my heart, peace in my home, peace in my world. She put it
mhm.
on one of her cards, one of her little bookmarks that went around with the three angels.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Let's
very
start.
important because it has to start with us. It has to be in our heart. This human body that we have, this is where I'm going back to. When I first started working with energy, and you had mentioned ghost, etc. It's all energy. When I first started working with it, it was like 2010, 2011, and it was mostly through this book called Living in the Heart, written by Drew Vella Melchizedek. When I read that book, I experimented with the things that he was teaching in there. That when you're in your heart, in a very good space, basically filled with gratitude, you can lovingly change the weather over your head. You can have wild animals walk up to you peacefully. I mean,
Hmm.
there's just a number of things that humans can do that we're not told we can do. We're told the saints did it, but we're not told we can do it. Well, we're all saints, right? We're saints for being in this world right now. We're carrying our peace in this world. Um, when I started experimenting with that, that's when I got put on a lesson from, I'll call it the Holy Spirit, the Great Spirit of what really energy is, and that there is no death and that it crosses over. So when you say that your neighbor was there, your neighbor was there, you felt him there, and you felt some energy, and he was probably giving you some messages that made you feel sad because you missed him, but maybe felt good because you know he's in a good
Well, there
space.
were very specific messages of I'm going to stick around till my wife joins me and till the house sells. I'm like, okay.
Wow, very
Came
specific.
back and I told my spouse that, and they're like, okay. And then I even texted the daughter-in-law who who she had never visited their house after moving back to Florida. They were in an apartment and they finally came to the house, and that's when she found them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that
Wow.
was very emotional, that whole story.
Yeah,
And I knew her
that's
as a
tough stuff.
teenager that was, mixed up, confused, and now she's married to the neighbor, and they got a thriving catering business in Florida that's national. So it's a different scene.
Mm,
But
wow.
when they went through the house, they still saw their recreational drugs and activities in the medicine cabinet. The parents hadn't cleaned anything for like 15,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
they were
God.
suffering for a while. So I was feeling all that on Monday when I was gonna do a improv recording both the voices and I wasn't ready. So then I had an idea Wednesday, right before writers group, to my weekly writers group to um, ask people in my group and a couple other people like yourself to have a conversation like this to see what it draws out and what your feelings about all the things we're talking about. It's a lot of topics.
It is. It is. So, I love that you put positive energy into these songs and that people get the positive energy out of the songs because the best thing we can do in this world right now is lift up the vibrations, make
Hmm.
people joyful, make people get out of bed and get up, get out there and start what is it? Meg Cryer says, get up, get dressed, and get going. Those are the
Mm.
three G's for every day.
What is it again?
She's 100 years old right now.
What is it?
Um,
Get up.
get up, get going. Wait, get up, get dressed, get going.
I love it.
Yeah. So I just want to finish that thought about energy. Recently, I have started doing some YouTube videos. My grandson's helping me, vignettes about things that have happened in my life. And as a result, I was telling this story that reminded me of the energy learning that I had, had gone through. So I went back and I looked up Drunvalo Melchizedek, and he just put out another book in 2026, and I ordered it, and it's already here in a day, in
I
Amazon.
don't know who that author is or that teacher.
Yeah, well, it's powerful stuff. The first one he wrote, it game changed my whole world. And
Mm,
I got sent to clear energy out in Jerusalem, which I did over the four blood moon type time
mm,
frame, 2014 and into
mhm,
2015. So that all happened already.
mhm,
But what I feel like I'm getting right now, since I've accomplished and checkmarked so many of those things that I wanted, which included, getting the foundation Twilight Wish settled with a really great executive director and financing Twilight Wish. We just sold our company, Eonergy, a month and a half ago, and all this great publicity is coming. I've got Nexstar Media coming to my house again on Monday, and a bunch of people like Annabelle Woods coming. She's going to get filmed for her role in the Truck Driving Mama Wish. That's all happening Monday of this week coming up. So all this positive energy, but it's back to energy again. So I
mhm,
feel my heart is telling me I've already cleared a lot of energy in the world, but I'm going to be one of the top, I already probably am, but I'll be recognizing myself as one top energy specialist in the world for going in and clearing up the negativity.
mm.
So
Like at different spiritual sites or just general.
yeah, it's sort of like I I, I always say, like you do, live your peace. I always say peace to the world. And I've been everywhere doing that. Peace to the
Mhm,
world. And I have this
mhm,
little tiny world. It's a globe, a little tiny globe I can hold in my hands and I can pray into it and wish for peace in the world. Even in specific places and even for specific people, have certain things happen. So that's my journey. That's where I'm headed back to because otherwise I would not have this brand new book that got delivered yesterday.
mhm. Wow.
And here I am remembering the journey that took me many places, and
Mm,
it's coming back full in full.
wow.
And now I've already witnessed it. I've already done it. I've already done work around the world. This time, this time is different. This time I don't feel anxious about, oh, I hope I don't fail. No, I can't fail. I already succeeded.
Wow.
It's kind of exciting, you know.
And we've
It's
talked
all
about this
about
for the last, what,
hearts.
15 years or more? A lot of these seeds, as you will.
Yeah. And it's all about the heart. So heart song, you're right on the right path to
Mm.
impact people in the way that this world needs to be impacted. Raise up those energies, raise up those vibrations. That's what music is. That's what songs are,
That's what lyrics
vibrations.
are. That's what poetry is. That's what dialogues are. That's what just being in community and not saying anything in a room is meditation.
Yeah, I'm not a good meditator.
I'm not either, so that's why
I'm a
I got
good,
into scripting and music and storytelling because I needed something that when I read it, I felt the energy shift and elevate. So that's why I got on this journey.
yeah. So looking forward to hearing more where you end up. I feel like you're on a journey, and this year is a very important year for you.
Hmm. Cool.
I think that your idea of how you're going to do your Philly Fringe will be very healing.
Hmm. Yeah. And if nobody sees it except for myself, then it has all been worth it for me.
And if the world sees it,
I'm just kidding. I had a mentor tell me once, she's like, "You're not afraid of failure. You're comfortable with that. You're afraid of success."
a lot of people are afraid of success. A lot of people, because it changes everything. You have to change. I guess I'm not so afraid of success anymore.
That's beautiful.
One of the hard things for me in my life, one of the hardest things for me ever was to learn to receive. I was a great giver. I could
Hmm.
give and give and give and give. But the givers wear themselves out if they don't also learn to receive because the energy has to come and go, right and left hand, come and go. And I didn't know how to receive. And it wasn't till I learned that lesson that life really shifted. And that's when I started winning awards and I started being thanked for all the things I had already done in the last few decades. And then being successful with money in my organizations.
And your identity shifted from growing up as a poor woman who lost your mom at 16 to a new identity. What is your new identity today?
So it's funny because I'm still that same person. I'm still that same person. Um, my identity did not change.
Hmm.
I still see myself at different periods of my life, where I was, where I am. What I think might have shifted has to do with the word success. Success. So my husband always says we define our own success.
Hmm.
And I even wrote a book. I wrote a book called We Define Our Own Success, written by Bill Belknap, my husband, the most successful man I ever met, because he defines himself that way.
I
So,
love it.
so I started defining myself as successful all along the way. Like I just started to see how I'd already succeeded. And and then success, which maybe we put it up there with other people, they do it by finances and other
Hmm.
stuff. But then success just started happening because I was already successful. I
Hmm.
defined it that way. One of the greatest lessons my husband ever taught me.
Well, I love that. And I just listened to a founder's podcast and I- I'm just going to say the host of Founders Podcast. I've listened to a lot of them in the last couple months about the creators of Pixar, Steve Jobs, Apple Computer, Bill Gates, different AI creators, the father of information technology, like all these different people I've been listening to on my different commutes. Um, and the one that I was listening to I've been listening to them also with my friend that I walk around the lake with, and we've been walking around the local mall. And so we've been listening to these podcasts together. And the one that we listened to recently was um, the creator of Spider-Man. Uh, yeah. And how the very like first or second time when he locked in when his first major Marvel character, um, he would put on the top of the cartoon cover, the best cartoon or basically defined him as a leader like the very first issue. And I feel that way with like our conversations.
Yeah, I mean, that's significant. So, you know, I'm still cast forking. I still led my life with a lot of terrible things happened throughout my childhood. And that just made me who I am today. And so who am I today? So I guess who I am is I'm a person who's incredibly blessed. I have a lot of joyful things happen. I still have a lot of crappy things happen too, just like
Yeah.
everybody. But I sort of can get over them quicker, faster, quicker. I don't give them very much energy. That's
Hmm.
another thing that my husband taught me. In business, you're always going to come across some people who they're not as
Ethical.
filled with integrity
Yeah.
as you might be. And then how do you handle that? So one way is people, do lawsuits. Well, whenever possible, we try not to do a lawsuit because
Mhm.
it just drains your energy. And
Yeah. And
if your energy
resources.
is always being drained, you can't get back to the high, joyful moments as easily. So that was the one thing that we did, which isn't to say that you can do that all the time. Sometimes you have to, put your foot down and say, oh, that can't be. But really defining where you want to spend your energy.
Hmm.
Because, the older I get, which I just turned 65 this past week, 1 week ago, the more I realize that the most incredible resource we have is not even time, it's energy. It's our personal energy. And where do we spend it? And what do we want to spend it doing? So, the journey you're on right now with your internal dialogue face to face.
Hmm.
This is Ruth, the wise one. This is Ruth, the curious one. And what am I going to learn from Ruth, right? What am I going to learn?
Can we turn sideways and I do a screenshot of us looking that way?
Oh, I should go this way.
No, can you go the other way? Thank you. I'm just gonna. All right. Why isn't it working? Damn it. Technology. Okay. I was frowning at that one. Hold on.
Did it work?
It did. Hold on. Okay, look towards the wall. All right. We'll see what happens.
I
That's
hate my
actually,
profile. I hope it's good.
I
I don't
mean,
like my
I'm
profile.
noticing like, you know, my 51-year-old skin, but whatever.
My profile is different on both sides of my faces too.
Yeah, I mean,
This side of my face looks
I like
older.
this side of my face better.
Yeah, I like this side better. Funny. Anyway, we are who we are.
I love it.
We're doing all right, Ruth. 65 and 51. We're doing all right.
Yeah.
Is that I think we're good, right? We're done.
Yeah.
Signing off.
All right. Thank you.